Join me in this video as I sew the Yeol skirt. This skirt might seem simple, but that's exactly why it's one of my favorites. It's something I can wear every day, something I can sew out of a comfortable fabric, like cotton poplin in this case. And since the design is pretty basic, I can pair it with lots of different blouses and t-shirts. To sew the skirt, I'm going to use the Yeol skirt pattern, which originally comes with written instructions. It's basically a paneled skirt with vertical seams. It flares at the hem and fastens at the center back with a zipper. To sew this project, I'm going to use a cotton gingham fabric. I have one in shades of blue that, as I said, I wear all the time. It's one of my go-to pieces. And now I was in the mood for something in a warmer shade, so I'm going to make it in this coral pink one.
One tip I do want to give you when cutting out the pieces is to label them, or keep them next to the corresponding paper template, because they all look pretty similar. There are a lot of panel pieces, and even though they're very similar, they aren't identical, so you need to keep them organized. See? I told you so. This is the general pattern layout. The assembly is very simple, but my advice is to lay them all out in order so you can sew them one by one. I like to start from the center front and work toward the sides. Place the pieces right sides together, sew along the seam allowance, and then finish with an overlock or zigzag stitch. We'll use this method to join the pieces for all the seams on the skirt. After sewing, press the seam toward the side. We've sewn the center front pieces together, and now we're going to start on the next ones. Little by little, we'll be shaping the skirt. If you'd like, you can first sew all the pieces together without overlocking to try it on and see if you need to make any adjustments. If everything looks good, you can serge all the vertical seams. And that's it. At this point, the skirt is assembled and ready for the invisible zipper. So now's a good time to try it on. It's a very simple process, just very repetitive. Oh, remember that at the center back, you need to serge from top to bottom on both sides, since we'll be inserting a zipper later. I'm going to add a concealed zipper to the center back. The pattern has a mark indicating where the zipper should end, so we'll sew it up to that point. If you're not very familiar with sewing in invisible zippers, I'll leave a link in the description box to our blog where the process is explained in more detail. Once you've sewn in the zipper, we'll finish sewing the seam all the way to the bottom of the garment, right sides together. We'll sew a stitching along the seam allowance, from the hem to the end of the zipper seam. Unlike the other seams, this one will be pressed open. Once again, with the zipper in place, you can try on the garment. Yes, I think that if you have the chance, it's a good idea to try on the garment at different stages of the sewing process to see if you need to make any adjustments along the way. I'm going to make a hem at the bottom. Since the bottom has a slight curve, I'm going to sew a first stitch about 0.7 centimeters from the edge to stabilize the seam. And then I'll fold the fabric over to make the hem. Press it well. All that's left is to finish the waistline. To do this, we'll cut out the rectangular piece from the pattern. And if the fabric is particularly thin, you can interface it, but that depends on the fabric. And if the fabric is a little stiff, you can even cut it on the bias so it fits better. We're going to fold this rectangular piece down the center. We'll use the serger on the ends. And now we'll place it right sides together along the entire waistline. Starting from the center front and working toward the center back. We'll sew a stitch from one side of the zipper to the other along the seam allowance. And then overlock it. You need to fold the waistband over the seam allowance because next we'll sew an edge stitch over the waistband. Once the edge stitching is done, we fold the waistband inwards so that it will be concealed. This way, the waistband acts as if it were a waist facing, but in a simpler form. At the center back, fold the end of the waistband seam allowance inwards towards the fabric. This way, it's aligned with the zipper and we'll secure it with a couple of hand stitches. And to keep the waistband from flipping outward when you're wearing it, you can use some of the seams, like the center front or the side seams, to also sew a small hand stitch that keeps it in place. And with that, the skirt is finished.